Of course we are.
You know what I mean?
So who do you think it could be, if not white guys?
It could, like, for instance, Obama, is arguably not a white guy.
He's arguably also not a black guy. He's arguably
right,
more white
but it's
than
not
black.
exactly a white guy.
He's arguably like Neapolitan ice cream. He's got
Except
some,
without the.
He's got some. Well,
without the red.
He's got some pink in him. You know what I'm saying?
It's amazing that you just said that.
According to this guy Larry something in Chicago, forget his last name.
Kudlow?
No, not Larry Kudlow. There's a guy in Chicago who claimed here. Larry Sinclair. Amazon book, Barack Obama and Larry Sinclair, Cocaine, Sex, Lies, and Murder. The biggest untold story of the 2008 election. Finally, the no-holds-barred, 100% true story of Obama's use and sale of cocaine, his homosexual affairs, and December 23, 2007, murder of Barack Obama's former lover and choir director of Obama's Chicago church of 20 years, Donald Young, just days before 2008 Iowa caucus. The searing candid story begins with Obama meeting Larry Sinclair in November 1999 and subsequently procuring and selling cocaine and then engaging in consensual homosexual sex with Sinclair on November 6th. Oh, that's the anniversary. That's interesting. And again on November 7th, 1999. You'll read a riveting detail how Sinclair, in 2007, repeatedly contacted and requested that the Obama campaign simply come clean about their candidates' 1999 drug use and sales. You'll learn how the Obama campaign, David Axelrod and Barack Obama used Donald Young, the homosexual lover of Obama, to contact and seek information from Sinclair about who he had told of Obama's cries and actions. You'll read how the Obama campaign used internet porn king Dan Parisi and PhD fraud Edward I. Gelb to conduct a rigged polygraph exam in an attempt to make the Sinclair story go away. The Obama team and controlled media, specifically MSNBC, Chris Matthews, Keith Olbermann, I call him Overbite, New York Times, CNN, Political's Ben Smith, Daily Kos, Huffington Post, and others, attacked the National Press Club for making its facilities available to Larry Sinclair for a news conference to present his evidence and allegations to the world media. You'll read how Vice President Joe Biden's son, Delaware Attorney General Beau Biden, issued an arrest warrant on completely false and fabricated charges to attempt to discredit Mr. Sinclair's National Press Club news conference. This is a staggeringly true story of how the sitting U.S. president, with the help of mainstream media, the Chicago Police Department, the FBI, Delaware Attorney General, and others got away with murder and more. Written by Larry Sinclair himself and another guy, whatever. Interesting. So he's got some.
Sounds like.
So he's got pink, man. He's a Napoletan ice cream guy. He's white, he's black, and he's pink. You know what I'm saying?
So it's very interesting that you said that, because just today I was reading in that book, Beyond Kabbalah.
We went from that to Beyond Kabbalah.
No, I'm telling you why. You'll see in a second why.
Yeah.
So we have the Leviathan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says that the righteous will be eating, having the meal of Leviathan. So, make a long story short, Leviathan represents the type of consciousness that we will be experiencing, and it's also the entire universe. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's kind of like this all-in-one God consciousness that we're going to be experiencing, which is a balance of Gevura and Chesed. So Chesed. So when the Midrashim talk about Leviathan, they also talk about Behemoth and Ziz. Have you heard of these?
Who?
So the Leviathan is the giant aquatic creature. Mm-hmm. Okay, the Behemoth is the same thing, but it's a land mammal. Mm-hmm. And the Ziz is the corresponding flying creature. Mm-hmm. Okay, like it's like the Titans. Think about the Titans, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Ziz, the flying creature, this mythological creature, is a bird. So that's white meat. and that's chesed. White meat is considered chesed. White chesed.
Mm-hmm.
The behemoth, that's the land mammal. That's like the biggest land creature, right?
Yeah.
So that would be red meat.
Mm-hmm.
That's gevura. These are the colors associated with these sphirot.
Yeah.
And then, but the Leviathan is pink.
Yeah.
It's a mix of the white and the red.
Interesting.
And and it represents the balance between the two. Well, what you're describing seems to be the Sitra Achra version of that.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of the Sitra Achra gets it first.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's Obama.
Could be.
Obama is the negative side of the Leviathan.
Yeah. Could be, my friend.
Sounds about right.
It's kind of like today I told somebody about my friend, the guy who we interviewed. His name is Yaakov Fauci, and my friend started laughing. And he's like, I hope this guy is a good Fauci. I'm like, dude, this guy is mamash the tikkun for Dr. Fauci. So everything has its...
I'd still tell him to change his last name.
It's he's proud to have it because he's like, I'm the he's the tikkun. He's like, I'm proud to be the tikkun for Dr. Fauci. I'm proud to be the good Fauci.
Yeah, but it's gonna make people think that Fauci's a Jew.
Mm-mm. He tells people that people know that people who know him, they know it's his stepfather's name.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad asked me today, is Fauci Jew? I'm like, no, he's from Sicily. So
what is this? What is this Yaakov Fauci's actual father's name? Why wouldn't he take that?
I don't remember, and I don't know. I don't know. I never asked him. But he's like, listen, before there was this doctor, I was the guy with Fauci, and people knew me as Fauci, so screw that guy. That's what he tells me. That guy could go fly a kite.
I remember this one comedian was like, Hitler, man, that guy. What about his brother Mike? It's like Mike Hitler.
Who said that? Right? Who said that?
I don't remember which comedian. And I'm not. I might be paraphrasing. I'm not. Like Greg Hitler.
That's very funny. That's very funny. By the way, speaking of Youngkin, the guy you said is a check pants, whatever. Apparently, his son tried to vote twice in the election, in the Virginia election, and he couldn't. Yeah, this is Virginia. See, his 17-year-old son, because he's not allowed to vote. He tried to vote twice, but was turned away by poll workers both times due to his age. What the hell? Oh, this is going to be wonderful. Aware of concerns.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Because the reality is they would let anybody vote.
Yeah.
But they're trying to create this fake bullshit. They're trying to restore confidence in a broken system that deserves no confidence.
Exactly. Verstehe.
Virginia was a controlled gift that was given by the Democrats.
Yeah, it was a little like Mizonos. It was a bone
to make it, to uphold, to uphold the fraud for a little while longer.
Yeah, for sure. It's very funny.
At some point, like when Trump was president, right? I was like, well, if we continue with this kind of president, then perhaps the political structure can be used to usher in the new age. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you could see it, but now it doesn't look like it's even possible.
I think the only thing that's possible is Mashiach. That's the only thing that's possible. It's becoming abundantly clear that is the only thing that is going to... Can I read you something from the website Zero Hedge?
Yeah.
Zero Hedge is the website. It's like former Goldman guys and a bunch of these JP Morgan guys, whatever it is.
Yeah, Tyler Durden,
sure. Here, this is the most recent article published 5 minutes ago. Global elite fear a rebellion is brewing, says CEO of large doomsday bunker builder company. According to CEO of one of the world's largest doomsday bunker builders for the elitists, those who are in power currently fear rebellion of those who are ruling over. Ron Hubbard, not to be confused with L. Ron Hubbard, the CEO of Atlas Survival Shelters. Let's look up this company. Let's see if it's just a legit thing or is it just. Yeah, there you go. Atlas Survival. 855, located in Texas. 855-4 bunker. Holy shit, this guy builds. Here. Safe cellars, fire shelters, bomb shelters, tornado shelters. Crazy. This guy builds all kinds of stuff. Modular square, multi-plate, military.
Mashiach shelters.
Yo,
let's see Mashiach shelters.
Yeah, just if he changed the name, he would. Dude, look at this. There's a whole Zach over here. Crazy. Okay. While being interviewed by the Canadian Prepper tells us, I guess that's like a blog, tells us right away the bunker building business is exploding as the elitists begin to fear the masses waking up. We know we are slaves, and those who have followed this blog know we aren't losing freedom, but we never had freedom. What we are losing is the illusion that we are free. But the rest of humanity is finally waking up and evolving past needing masters to enslave them and steal the fruits of their labor. This is a good thing, but we also know the rulers will not go down easily. As the year 2021 winds down, however, the doomsday bunker business is picking up, and those who are buying these bunkers are the ones currently fearing the Great Awakening or the apocalypse, the lifting of the veil. They fear people finally realizing that they were born into slavery. Hubbard warns that one reason this is happening now is the globalists believe a rebellion is brewing in America and likely very near, with the American people growing increasingly angry with the entire establishment and those who control it. The system is failing. People are evolving mentally, and many know they were not to be slaves. What the elitists want is massive chaos and division, which is why why we are divided in every way possible. If we cannot get along and work together, they will achieve their goal. The elites, quote, the elites are almost exclusively building bunkers right now because they're the ones that can afford it, Hubbard says in the video. Oh, there's a cool YouTube thing. I hope they don't take it down. America is within days, if not weeks, of a rebellion. There is a panic buy of bunkers right now, especially in the United States. If anybody would know this guy. He says it isn't just the United States either. This whole spirit of liberty and freedom from government has gone global. They know they're losing control, and all it takes is a massive noncompliance and people realizing they were not born to be slaves to any ruling class. We do not have to make this a violent rebellion, and even Hubbard admits that this won't necessarily be a violent rebellion, but it will happen. As people face losing their jobs and everything they spent years working for, they will have no choice but to wake up to what is really going on. That's what I said. Like, people in Israel, like, it's going to start with Israel. Like, people are going to be like, people who never get out to the streets are going to be like, okay, you want my kids to take this? You want me to take the fourth and the fifth? Go blank yourself. And that's it. You know?
Dude, I hope that it starts in Australia.
Oh my god!
Shit.
Oh my god! Those,
they're literally confiscating people's bank accounts and confiscating their property for the fines that they didn't pay.
It's out of control. And the irony is that in Israel, you can literally go to court and it'll be thrown out, the stupid fines. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, here also, and in Israel, it'll be thrown out. Like, there's no... It's just annoying. They know people don't even want to bother. And that
the Australians, они должны поймать этих guys и ебать их, like, forever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy.
Hopefully not Jews.
Yo, there's another article. You know that website Natural News? I mean, I don't really put stock into it, but somebody wrote, getting jabbed with J&J increases risk of rare, quote-unquote, rare blood clots by 350%.
Is Natural News, what is that? Is that Mercola?
It's like this website. Whatever. It's a kind of a right-wing, but like they have other stuff there, you know? Medical also. Here. My God, it's crazy. Yeah, J&J is back in the news after it was revealed that recipients are 3 point... Oh, it's from Daily Mail. Here you go. This is actually legit. This is a British. Americans who received the one-dose J&J vaccine are 3.5 times as likely to develop rare blood clots compared to the general population, study finds. This is from November 1st, a few days ago. Researchers found that 8.5 J&J recipients developed the clots for every 100,000 person years, compared to 2.5 out of general population. Women between age 30 and 64 were most at risk of developing... Dude, my business partner's wife took J&J, because he didn't want her to take mRNA. He said if you're gonna take the vax, take J&J, which is like a vax. But
it isn't.
It's garbage. Yeah, authorization of the vaccine was paused for 10 days during April. So yeah, cerebral venous sinus thrombosis, or CVST, is a dangerous condition that can cause a person to suffer a stroke or even die. This is insane. I'm telling you.
Trump said children don't need the vaccine.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Whatever. I don't know. And then there's this guy Cat Turd on Twitter, which I don't know if it gives him legitimacy or it does, or maybe it doesn't help his cause. Breaking. Basting your entire butthole with a whole stick of melted Land O'Lakes butter and sitting on a fire ant hill now has a higher approval rating than Joe Biden. He always come up with these crazy, like, doing this crazy thing has a now higher approval rating. Oh my god.
No, it's funny. He has like this thing, El Presidento, right? Or he's like he pretends to be like some Spanish guy, where he posted this video of what's her name? What's that chick's name? She's like one of these, like, hot girl from the 2000s, Megan Fox. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
She posted something about something that she saw during a UFC championship fight where when Donald Trump showed up for it, and she looked she was very, like blown away by Trump and the effect that he has on people. Right? She had this like visible kind of. She was flushed talking about it, and then Cat Turd, he put that moment on one of his videos, and then he puts like a little cutout of Trump. Like a little like on a, he does like this thing like on his, it's like you put a cutout like and you glue it to a popsicle, like that kind of look. And he's like thank you, Megan, but I'm in love with Melanita. Melania or whatever.
Yeah, Melanita. Yeah, that's funny.
He does stuff like that. El Donaldo Presidento. That's how he calls him.
Yeah. So look at this chick wrote: if you lie about your vax status, you can face a fine of up to $10,000 and 6 months in prison, according to new OSHA rules. If you lie about your citizenship for employment, there are no consequences. Yo, it's just...
No, I mean... yeah, exactly.
They're posting now all of the tweets from all these lefties.
Dude, this is turning into a podcast. I thought we were going to do it on Monday.
Oh, I'm recording this. I've been recording this for the past 18 minutes.
What? Oh, man, dude. You always catch me by surprise with that somehow.
What's it called?
I think that's what you're trying to do.
Yes. No, some idiot. All these lefties.
Keep it a Greg, bro.
That's right. No, but I don't do. No, you know why? Actually, I wasn't planning on taping this, and then we started like just getting into the whole pink Obama Napoletano ice cream situation. And then I was like, okay, this is turning into like something worthwhile.
Yeah, man. Oh, so you turned it on with Pink Obama, but you missed. It wasn't on during the Eliyahu stuff, right?
No, but
whatever. Fine. Let's just roll.
No, so they're posting all these like they're putting together. This guy is putting together all the times the lefties said not to take the vax when Trump was doing the fast whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And then like, so it's like a tweet from like October 2020 and then a tweet from like 2 days ago. So it's like, I've been saying this shit for months. No surprise here. If you take Donald Trump's rushed quote unquote vaccine, you're an idiot. And then today, Aaron Rodgers is completely full of shit.
Because he said he's not going to take the vaccine?
Yeah.
Meaning that's what the left is saying. Like before they were saying you're an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot. When it was, it's the same vaccine. It's the same exact stuff in the syringe. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
The only thing that changed is the president.
Bro, did you see? I saw this.
It's amazing.
This meme that somebody posted on Facebook about Kamala Harris, and I mean, it's just very illustrative.
Yeah.
Illustrative?
Demonstrative.
Illustrative?
Demonstrative. Yeah.
What am I trying to say,
Or
Greg?
demonstrative or instructive. Instructive.
Thank you. That is what
we're
I'm
like,
say.
we're Soviet people, so like our lexicon is very limited. Granted, you were born
I'm
here.
not entirely.
Granted, you were born here,
I was born here. I don't have that much of an excuse. But oh wow, Facebook are sick.
What
they
happened?
Put partly false information.
On what? On what?
Okay, I posted this thing that said, I'm Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, I accused a Supreme Court nominee of rape. I tried to block him. Mm-hmm. Kavanaugh. Mm-hmm. I tried to block him from the court, mm-hmm. and I tried to ruin his life and reputation, even though there was no real evidence of him raping anyone. I said I believed his accuser, who came out of the woodwork at the 11th hour.
Yeah.
In April 2019, I accused Joe Biden of rape. I said I believed the women who accused him of inappropriate touching and sexual misconduct. Yeah. He is now my running mate, and I support him. This is obviously from before.
Crazy.
In September 2020, a violent rapist was shot by police after resisting arrest. I ignored his victim and law enforcement when I went to visit him in the hospital, and said I was proud of him. I did and said all of this simply for political gain. I have no real values or moral conscience. I'll say anything to gain votes. And Facebook is trying to say it's partly false.
If you posted something like that about Trump, there would be absolutely no corrections or fact checks or anything of the sort. If anything, they'd probably push it. There would be like suggested articles for you about Trump. Something you might want to know, It's very interesting. I find that very...
Что нам делать про Zuckerschmuck?
Zuckerschmuck? Let him destroy himself. I mean, the guy... Have you ever seen him... There's a video of him. It's a very famous video. He was interviewed at one of these tech conferences. This is years ago. And he's sitting there, and he's wearing a hoodie, and they're asking him about... The woman is asking him about, people's data and privacy and all that kind of stuff. And he starts sweating. He literally created like a puddle.
No, you don't understand. He wasn't nervous. He had just finished wrestling that ox that he killed with his bare hand.
Of course.
Because he only eats meat that he killed himself.
Uh-huh. And then speaking of evasive. And the guy took off the hoodie, and then he stood up, and the chair, the leather chair that he was just sitting in, was just, there was like a, you remember that scene from Coming to America, Soul Glow, where they all got up?
Yep.
And it was like that. It was like that. It was like that.
Can't you get that through your greasy head? She ain't interested anymore.
She ain't interested you. It was like
I love that guy. You know
John Amos.
John Amos.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is John Amos, and one of my totally unfavorite comedians that I don't like at all.
Yeah.
Right, that I never watch, said something.
Mm-hmm.
I have no personal feelings towards him at all. I wish him. I'm completely neutral, and he's not one of my favorite comedians. I'd like to just put that out.
Yeah.
You know why I'm saying that, right?
Who are you talking about?
I'm about to say it. His name is Nick DiPaolo.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is I love him very much, but because all my other favorite comedians have died, I don't want to. I don't want him.
Just say I despise him with a passion, and I think he's horrible, and he will live.
Okay, not my favorite, not one of my favorites at all.
Yeah,
but he said something. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he goes, this is like when Obama got elected. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't mind a black guy getting, elected. Mm-hmm. Like that, but it's not Obama. That's not a black guy. Like my nipples are darker than him. He's like, is that a black guy? He goes, I can see a black guy as my president. Like a real American guy, like John Amos. Like one of those guys. I recognize that guy. That's an American black guy. Yeah, I felt exactly the same way as him. I was like, that's exactly right. Why can't it be John Amos? Why does it have to be some weird globalist kind of like world
I'm telling you.
Citizen rather than a regular American dude. Well, we don't have enough regular American black guys to become president.
Why does it have to be a guy who reads the book A Post-American Century by Fareed Zakaria? You saw the picture of him.
Why did it have to be the guy who was raised and was what's the word? I'm losing. They're zapping me again. They're zapping me. The guy who was guided, who his mashpia was Frank Marshall Davis.
Yes, exactly. Mashpia.
Why that guy?
Yeah, for Stace.
Why can't it be Clarence Thomas? Why can't it be John Amos?
Yeah.
What about Carl from Family Matters?
How come Morgan Freeman doesn't get to be the president?
Morgan Freeman, yes, Morgan Freeman. He's American, even though he's still a shtickle elitist.
He's not, but I love the part where he spoke to CNN and he said there was a clip. He's like, "Why are we doing Black History Month? I don't need a month. Why do we need a month? What is this crap? Like, why? Why are you guys doing this? Why don't you have White History Month?" And the guy was like, I don't know. He's like, no.
Morgan Freeman is close. It's close. You know who I'm really thinking of? I'm not thinking about Morgan Freeman. I'm thinking about the guy that he played in that movie where he was the principal of that school.
Oh,
you remember
the guy of Patterson, New Jersey? Yeah.
Yes.
His name was.
I forgot the name.
I'll tell you. Hold on, Morgan Freeman.
That's the guy that we need in America.
The movie is called Lean on Me, and the guy he played was. Yeah, Joe Lewis Clark, real life inner city high school, Newark. I'm sorry, not Patterson, Newark.
Yeah, why don't we get that guy, Joe Lewis Clark, right?
That guy passed away on December 29th, 2020. The real guy.
God.
Wow.
So fine? So we get Morgan Freeman channeling him. Yeah, that's I don't mind. Like nobody, as long as he's American. Like there are, America has a lot of faces, right?
Yeah.
But it has to be recognizably American. Obama ain't American. Yeah. He's some like swinging guy. Grew up in Pakistan. Like he's one of these guys. He's like that is not an American guy. Okay.
Yeah.
John Amos is an American guy. Okay, that guy. Who else? I was going to say Danny Glover, but Danny Glover has revealed himself to be a horrifying leftist. Just ugly, weird.
He's terrible.
Weird shit.
He's terrible. Danny Glover's terrible.
Weird. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So you know what else? Nick DiPaolo said. He's like, he goes, they're saying that this Obama guy, they're treating him like he's he's the chosen one, the Messiah, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, you know what? They might be right, because the night he was elected, I ran up to the TV set. I was pointing at him and I said, "Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ."
That's actually.
I was also yelling that. I was like.
Dude, you know that Obama, you probably know this, Obama gave his first ever, that speech that he gave on at the 2004 DNC, Democratic National Convention. You know what day that was on the Hebrew calendar?
Was that Yutas Kislev? No.
If it was, then it would be fantastic. It was anything but Yutas Kislev. It was in the summer.
What was it?
I'll give you a hint. It was in the summer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said December.
No. In the summer. Yeah.
So what date was it?
It was...
Oh, you want me to find out?
No, I want you to guess.
It was Gimel Tammuz, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with Lubavitch.
It was Tisha B'Av.
It was the 10th of Av, and the 10th of Av, the temple still burned, and that's why we don't, people say, well, it was the 10th of Av, when you tell them, yes, the temple still burned, and that's why we don't eat, meat until Hatzot of that day. So he gave a speech on the 10th of Av. It was the evening already after Tisha B'Av, which is still the burning part. And he gave a speech, the first speech, and that speech that he gave, that where people were like, "Wow, this guy's like amazing," and this and the other. It was Tisha B'av. Yeah. It was yeah. It's the beginning of the tragedy for America. Let's put it that way. And the rest of the world.
I remember this amazing. I think it was the Time magazine cover of. Maybe it wasn't. I don't remember, but it was like a political caricature of Obama, like looking really small, and this giant dragon bearing down on him, right? Which that's China.
China, yeah. Interesting.
And I was thinking about that today, and it seems to me that the left, these globalists, the Arab, they seem to be that part of Chava and Adam. We're talking about the same creature. That decided to listen to the Nachash in the garden, and kind of like it drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah. She drank the Nachash's Kool-Aid, right? Yeah. And America, right? Yeah. That part of America, that part of the free world of which we can call Adam, right? Yeah. Was swayed by China, the dragon, the Nachash. Yeah. The evil Nachash, the evil dragon. There used to be a concept of a holy dragon way before the tree of the mixing of the knowledge of good and evil, right? So, but that was prehistory. Now we're in the age of the unholy dragon, the unholy snake, and how you have a country that is its primary symbol is a dragon. But if China was a good country, that would be different. But they are the most evil, beyond imagination. Okay, so that cover of I think it was Time magazine, right? It would be interesting to find that. It really kind of shows you, I think, what's actually going on. Okay, you have these people submitting to the Nachash, and it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. In their mind, right? The Nachash convinced them that, listen, I'm going to take over anyway. Like I got, look, I will overwhelm you with numbers, with our power. And not only that, we have full control of our population. You guys, you guys are a rabble, right? You can't mobilize your entire population to do what you say. We can. How can you stand in the way of such awesome power? You might as well just cooperate, and we'll do a controlled demolition of your country with a minimum amount of suffering, and there's something in it for you. We'll take care of you guys.
It's like Nimrod. That whole thing, just a dominant force in the world, and Avram Avinu went against, like literally, it's like one man against, it's like in Pablo Francisco. One man, one desire.
One desire.
This summer, Avram Avinu is
little yeshiva boy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
no,
get down.
Get down again.
Yes. It's like, I don't know who this Avram Avinu is. Well, I want him and his pita bread dead.
Dead. See that? Remember, I was telling you before about I was trying to address, people in general, religious Jews, leftist Jews, especially Arabs, Arabic people with any sense, because they need to understand this faster than anybody. And this is related to what we were just talking about. See, Abraham was totally one individual, literally against the entire world. Yes, he was right and they were wrong, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay? So that right there, that's probably the primary example of majority does not know what it's talking about all the time, almost never.
Yeah.
Okay? So, but just to get back to that for a second. So you have this giant majority that wants to impose its will, and God will thwart them with an individual, if necessary, or even less. You can thwart them with anything, with an amoeba, God forbid, okay, or a virus, even smaller than an amoeba. I'm not saying that it's connected to this issue. I'm just talking about small things, and there's things smaller than viruses too. So when we're talking about Israel, the land of Israel, here's what we're talking about. There is a land called Israel. It's in the Middle East. God wants that to be a land where Jewish people live. Okay? Now, here's what I'm really trying to say, and this is I'm addressing everybody. Even religious Jews who actually believe this, right?
Yeah.
But let's create a hypothetical situation where you give the leftists exactly what they want, the Arabs exactly what they want to, where they convince the Jewish people, even the ones who believe in it, they're so overwhelmed with despair that they say, fine, we give up. We're leaving, and here's the land. What I want to tell those religious Jewish people and those celebrating Arabic people and celebrating leftists is that it's still not going to work. You don't understand. God will. It's going to go on regardless of what you want. You could have 100 trillion leftists and 100 quadrillion Arabs. It doesn't matter how many.
We spoke about this. Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I told you about my friends who build.
It doesn't matter if every single Jew agrees to what you said, and they're like, fine, we're done with it. It doesn't matter. Even that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you understand? God will not let your will be done. He will have His will done. That's what. If the faster the world understands that, the easier it will be.
Yeah.
That's my only hope. Because
they see what's going on. Like I told you about my friends who build homes in Judea and Samaria, then they get dismantled, then they keep, they rebuild on the same spot, dismantle, rebuild, and after a while, it becomes a town, and then the government has no choice but to just accept it as a reality on the ground. And Hashem is helping them.
Yes, but that's okay. So what you're talking about is a little bit different. You're talking about a scenario where there's like some Jews that still are trying to make it happen against all odds.
But Hashem is God.
What I'm talking about, I'm talking about a hypothetical situation where every last Jew agrees, fine, you guys can have it, we're done with this, right?
Yeah. What
I'm trying to say is God won't even let that happen.
Yeah, because He already started a machination in 1967. He opened the portal. I'm saying the portal was open. Once you open that portal, there's no going back. That Stargate, so to speak.
Okay, let's say hypothetically you could retract the portal. Let's just say hypothetically, even though I agree with you can't.
Okay.
Even under that circumstance, it still won't work.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it's a small piece of land, and by allowing the Jews to live in that piece of land willingly, you are giving God a very small sliver of influence in this world. That's all He's asking for. Yeah. If you mess with that, you are fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
So this is like it's not a threat, just like this is just to all people. Even the ones who feel like they should give up. Yeah. You don't understand. Your giving up is not going to help.
It's not a threat. It's information.
It's not. Yeah, and this is equally to Jewish people. They're like, listen, you don't understand what you're doing. You think you're going to... Every step that you take towards what you're trying to do by removing Jews from Israel, it will only cause you harm.
It's going to backfire.
Automatically. It's already programmed into the system to do that.
Yeah, of course. It's gonna not
So
only
it's
harm,
like
it's gonna backfire, and yeah, it'll cause them harm. It's again back to Amr Vino. Everything will be blessed through you, and also whoever curses you shall be cursed. That's it. And we see it. Like Obama got into what is it? Obama got into office. I noticed like America, not because of even necessarily his just the way that he was behaving towards Israel. All of a sudden, you started seeing problems here. You know, and by
I'll be honest with you.
the
I'll be honest with you. Obama's behavior, or any American president's behavior towards Israel, was always the least of my concern.
but you
The
know
real
what?
concern is
Just,
the weakness, or not the weakness, but actually it would seem at this point very clear the that the leadership of Israel,
oh, terrible.
the quote unquote leadership, they're the ones that were destroying Israel the whole time.
Yeah, from the inside, slowly.
On purpose.
Listen, these people, like I work in the wine industry. I mean, I deal with Israelis, and it's funny because most of the people in the wine industry who are these kind of people who are, let's say, experts and international, these sommeliers, these kind of people who are travel the world and try to give Israel a legitimate name in the wine world. Most of them are lefties. And when you sit down and you talk to them, these people, like I met one of them. Actually, he's a nice guy from Tel Aviv, whatever it is. Used to be whatever, a writer. And you talk to them and you realize how much they care what the world thinks. You know, like they care so freaking much, and they want to be like accepted as like a civilized, whatever, Western person, European person. And it's just funny because the irony is that because they care, because they're not owning their own kind of what's called Hebrew culture. And I don't like using the word Jewish. It's Hebrew culture, Hebrew identity. They're not embracing it, and they don't care about it. The irony is that it hurts them. You know, it hurts them.
Sure.
Like they don't realize that nobody gives a damn how civilized, quote unquote, they are, or how refined they are. People know that they're from Israel. They know that they're a Jew. They come to these European events or whatever, or American events. People know they're looking for authenticity from us. They're looking for, what is it? Will the real Jews stand up? Will the real Israelis stand up?
Yeah.
And these people, I'm looking at them and I'm like, why are you putting on this show for the world? Like, what they care so much. It's very sad. And they think and it's like the same thing. It's like a rinse repeat of what happened in Germany in the 1800s. It's like, they just really so badly wanted to be just like in the city. They were led into the cities they could leave the shtetls and go into the cities and go to universities. It's like rinse repeat, and it's the same. And then it led to what it led to, whatever, decades later, unfortunately. And it's the same thing here. They're like, oh, we're so accepted in America. We're so accepted here. We're so accepted there. And then you weren't. And then you're not going to be. Wait another 10 years, 20 years. You'll see. Now, I mean, we're here now. We're there. You know? It's just so funny to me. And I tell these guys, I'm like, guys, like you work in the Israeli wine industry. You're trying to give Israel a name. But for some reason, like I remember like there was a meeting my partner and I had with the Israeli government, economic, whatever it was, office, whatever. And these people so badly want to portray Israel as, there's this what's called Mediterranean, uh, uh, what is it called? New World Mediterranean block of countries. Cyprus, Greece, Lebanon. Lebanon makes wine, really good wine. And Israel wanted to join that whole Mediterranean kind of sphere. And we're sitting there talking to this guy, secular Israeli, whatever he is, appointed by Bibi. He was sent by Bibi to New York. And we're just like, dude, show Israel. Forget about this Mediterranean crap. Show Israel. Show what we have in terms of heritage. You know, the holidays, the history, you know, the Mishkan, the you know, we make wine in places that are talked about in the Tanakh. And just like he looked at us like we had 7 heads. You know?
Because
it's just so sad. What is that noise, by the way? Is that you eating or something? Like a noise
no,
in the background.
No.
Okay. Again with the noise. Yeah. Somebody's making noise.
Not me.
Yeah. Whoever's listening to this phone call, get the hell out of here. Zucker putz.
Except for the audience.
Exactly.
That's hopefully will continue listening
audience
to it.
Stay, Zuckerberg, go blank yourself.
I heard somebody say something interesting, which is connected to what you're saying, and it's actually it's related to this UFO thing. There's a guy, an Israeli guy. His name is Professor Avi Loeb, right? And he had this
physicist. I just looked him up real quick.
He's an astronomer. He's actually the head of the astronomy department of Harvard.
Yeah.
Like I care. I mean, people shouldn't. I mean, Harvard used to you know, like, but nobody should.
Exactly. There's an article called Harvard scientists suggest that our universe is created in a lab. This is what he said recently. Anyway.
Right. So I wasn't trying to say anything bad about Avi Loeb. I was just saying that his association with Harvard shouldn't be, you know, that shouldn't make oohs and ahs.
Yeah.
So, you know, if anything, and nowadays it should, you know, it would hurt his reputation if people really knew about that. But the point is that he said something. So he started this thing called the Galileo Project, right? Where they're going to use astronomical instruments to look for UFOs because he wanted. There's this like movement to, you know, to get science involved in the UAP issue, right? There was this report that came out in June, you know, from the quote unquote government, right? The Navy and the Pentagon. Nonsense. And so he's like, okay, let's you know, let's look into it. Let's see if we can make observations. We have the technology. We should be able to you know, to use it. We have all these satellites. We have all these ground-based sensors and all this kind of stuff. And so he was. I think he first made the news, Avi Loeb, because he was tracking a Oumuamua, this kind of like elliptical, but even more like stretched out, kind of like a needle-shaped object that was flying into our solar system at a very strange angle, at a very strange speed. Okay, and it didn't look like it was set on that trajectory through nature. Based on its shape, which is very, very odd, and based on its movement, its speed, its angle of entrance into the solar system, so he came to the conclusion, or his best hypothesis is that this is a synthetic object that was sent into our solar system. And he said a couple of things like it's perhaps space junk from some long past civilization.
Yeah, interesting.
So, or whatever, you know, or it could be a probe, it could be a drone, or who knows what.
Yeah.
Or, you know, how we send instruments into, you know, like into other like planetary systems, right? To fly through it and to take sensor measurements and stuff like that. So could be something like that. To us too. Okay, whatever. So I'm not arguing that. That's not very interesting compared to all the stuff that came to light from the Navy and from all these military guys, right? But at least it seems like he's kind of open to it. And so the most serious people who are involved in the UAP topic, I guess they made like an alliance with him, and then they started this Galileo project where they're going to take readings of stuff and try to catch UAPs in action. Okay, and this will be a civilian. It'll be a civilian agency. And the point, the big kiddush of this is that since it's civilian, that information could be accessible right away, whereas you don't have to deal with declassification like the military does.
For sure.
That's the idea behind it. Okay, which is all good, by the way. I think these are great ideas. I don't know how much it's going to yield because information is tightly controlled. But he said something related to what you were talking about earlier about the Israeli wine guy, those kind of Israelis. He's like, we have to get people to look at this topic, but it has to be serious people. And you know what he means, right? Unless you're a recognized scientist, aka part of the priesthood, you are not a serious person. Do you understand? It's not real until the priesthood decides and declares that it's real. Now, this guy that you were talking about, he only trusts the priesthood. Science, lefty. He only trusts leftism. Anybody left finding.
Or just the priesthood of the industry, whatever it is.
Right? He doesn't care about making contact with people who want to know or who value superstition. You understand? In his mind, superstition or ancient barbarians, right? Who suppress women, right? All this kind of shit. And unfortunately, this is the disease of Israel.
I know.
And I'm sure a lot of people have heard this in a meme or seen it somewhere. But leftism is a mental disease.
It is.
It's a true sickness.
It is. It is. Listen, I mean, like, I think in Israel it's a little bit. It's more. I would even call it. It's more like. I guess refined. It's very refined. You know what I mean?
It's very potent.
It's very not only potent, but it's like very like they're very like I don't know.
It's very deep. It's a very deep illness. It has really spread to the not to the core, but everywhere but the core. I mean, they don't have contact with their core. That's the primary.
Yeah, they don't. They're not. They don't represent the majority of Israelis. That's the thing. They don't represent the majority of regular Israelis, like family, kind of family-oriented people, whatever it is.
Of course not.
They don't represent
because the vote rarely represents how the majority of the Israelis vote.
Sure.
In the past election, the majority of Israelis, it was overwhelmingly, it was more than 65% wanted a true right-wing government. What do they get?
Yeah. They got garbage.
They got the priesthood.
They got
the Erev Rav.
Yep.
That's what they got.
Absolutely, exactly.
It equals, AKA, the Egyptian priesthood.
Yep.
So this is the main issue, and what I still can't understand is if you feel that way, if you're only into having relations with serious people, and you know what they mean by that, right? Of course, we covered it. Then why is it, again, what is it about Israel specifically? Why do you have to stay there? Why don't you go Go to Massachusetts. Make that your Israel.
Because I don't know.
Martha's Vineyard. Why don't you go there?
Well, a lot of them do. A lot of them go to if you can go to Tenafly, New Jersey, and a lot of them are there. These secular high-tech Israelis. A lot of them are there. The ones that aren't there, why are they in Israel? Because they like it. They like they like the beach in Tel Aviv. They like they like it. They like the climate. They like the lifestyle, whatever it is. Lifestyle, not life, but lifestyle. It's like a style.
All right, so go to go to any Mediterranean town.
No,
it's similar.
They're proud. They're all proud to have served in the in the army. It's like a mentality. It's a culture of we served in the army. We at the end of the day, they are in a way, you talk to some of them, they're in a way very, very proud of being Israeli, or whatever that means to them. They just don't want.
Yeah, that's the question.
They
what
just don't.
They don't know. They
don't
can't
know.
tell you.
They don't know what that means to them. They just don't want religion shoved in their face, and they think that. And I don't. And actually don't. I could see where they're coming from. Meaning, the Haredi sector in Israel really tries to. Compulsion doesn't work on Israelis. It doesn't work on Jews. You can't force people into doing stuff. You can't force people to keep Shabbat against their will, or to not go. You can't go to a town and be like, okay, everything here is closed on Shabbat, and people are like, well, we don't keep Shabbat, so why the hell are you closing it? And now you could say, well, it's a Jewish land.
What do you? No, but what are you describing? What are you describing though? I've never actually heard.
I'm just listen. No, there's a lot of people in Israel who would rather not have the government. If you're talking about, if you're a libertarian and you're against whatever it is, you're against any kind of compulsion, whether it's to take the vax. So on the same token, you would have to say, well, I also don't agree that the government is coming. Even Moshe Feiglin would say that. The religious Moshe Feiglin says, I don't agree with that. The Israeli government is clothing things on Shabbos, or forcing people to, stopping buses on Shabbos in Tel Aviv.
I don't agree with that either. But the only true cases that I've ever heard are the reverse, that I've actually seen myself, where you have Mayor Sharon, okay, where there's no one living in Mayor Sharon that's not from. Everybody's religious there, and you don't need buses traveling through there, and you don't need leftist Israelis driving by on their dirt bikes every fucking Shabbos, man.
The only listen, if you go to Tel Aviv, buses don't the only buses that work on Shabbos in Tel Aviv are the little Sharut buses. Regular buses don't work in Tel Aviv. Many things are closed on Shabbos in Tel Aviv, and people are just like, what the hell? If you walk down Dizengoff on Shabbos in Tel Aviv, most of the stuff is closed. People don't want to be closed. I'm not saying they should be. I'm saying they don't.
So they're forced to be closed. That's what's happening.
Yeah, it's a rule. Yeah, it's a rule. It's a rule. And even Feiglin is like, dude, why are you forcing people to do something? I get it, it's Israel, but why are you forcing the people in Tel Aviv to do something they don't want to do? You're only making them. Hey, he's like, I want these people to become. He goes, I'll be the first to tell you, I want these people. I would love for these people to become religious, but this is not the way to make them religious, by making them pissed off.
I agree. I think that that's precisely why they're doing it.
Yeah.
To foment that.
Yeah. The hatred.
That it doesn't make any sense otherwise.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Again, and you know what? There's a good amount of places in Jerusalem that are also open on Shabbos, and there's even places that will get they get a weird hechsher that says that this place is kosher, but it's also open on Shabbat, and a lot of people won't go eat at those places, even though they know the place is kosher in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
But the place is open on Shabbos.
Very interesting. So we have places in the heart of secular Tel Aviv,
mm-hmm.
that are forced to be closed, and then you have buses and really annoying leftist Israelis
mm-hmm.
disturbing people on Shabbos in Meir Sharon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Right.
It's a coordinated.
None of this
it's
is
a coordinated
being done.
thing. We see it's a coordinated. It's a coordinated. Again, we'll call you can call it psyop to split. To make sinat chinam, to make based
They
on
are still
Siberia.
revolting. I'm just я так заебался with these scumbags. Even talking about them, мне тошнит.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Ёбаные евреи, блядь. Seriously. I'm sick of this, bro.
I hear.
When is it going to end? Anyway, so
I hear.
Listen, я должен сделать вдалу.
Do that.
I have to do вдалу.
Go do that.
And then, make use of whatever. I don't know what's usable from this particular podcast, but
a lot of it is. Most of it is, I would say.
Especially ёбаные евреи, right?
Yeah. We'll keep that in. We'll keep that in.
It wasn't when my father taught me these little anti-Semitic nursery rhymes that he heard. He's like, what is it? Oh, some антисемит подходит в речку, he like dips his toe in and goes, вода холодная, жиды поганые, right?
Yeah.
These like little stories.
Yeah.
Or говорят, что Брежнев Леонид в детстве был аид.
Yeah.
И что Хрущев Никита кушал маца инкогнито. Something like that,
that's
right?
Really funny.
You heard these before?
I never heard. No,
like
that one I never heard. My parents probably heard that. That's really funny. Nikita ate matzah incognito. That's funny.
Right, Nikita. No, Khrushchev Nikita.
Yeah.
Кушал маtzah incognito.
Yeah.
Right. That's funny.
That's really funny.
Налево, направо жид, еврей, кругом одни евреи.
Listen, right now, I was telling my mother this. There's a bunch of these people on Twitter who are what you would call the classical liberal. The ones that are like normal. They were liberal or they are liberal. Guys like Dave Rubin, guys like what is that noise? Dear Lord, I'm telling you, somebody's get off the line, you big dope.
That's crazy. I don't hear anything.
That's not. You don't hear anything? I'm telling you, I'm getting like I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, so you have like Dave Rubin. You have what is it called? No, see, now I just got totally quiet. Dave Rubin, Brett Weinstein, Glenn Greenwald, and Alex Berenson. These are like the main people who are railing against the mandates, and one of them is Berenson is writing about the what every day.
Yeah.
And I was telling my mother this, and she goes, "You see, this is the Trotsky moment. These are the people that are being purged by, they're learning that this is what happens to when you're dealing with your own, the leftists, the real leftists, the hard left."
Is it learning, or is just repeating itself? Like, how come we couldn't learn from Trotsky? Why do we need a new example?
Because today these people didn't. I guess they thought that okay, we're not. They were never espousing communism. These guys, these Jews that I'm talking about, they were espousing like American liberal /ized values. Or this girl Bari Weiss, the one that was in the New York Times, and then she quickly learned what it means to be at the New York Times, to be a pro-Israel person, and she quickly learned the hard way. So she's also in that group of people. There's like 5 of them, 5, 6 of them. They're all Jews. And they're all liberalized. They were never pushing like communism. They were never, they were just like, these are like liberal, what liberal is supposed to be. But they're learning that, they're not falling in line with the narrative. They have their own brain. Again, all of them happen to be Jewish. Weinstein, Greenwald, Berenson, Rubin, Weiss. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's more where that came from.
What's that guy's name? Sam. He's
Sam
like
Harris.
The new face of
Sam Harris. Sam Harris. That's another one. Also,
Ayid?
Yeah, of course he's
Jewish.
Of course he's Yid. Of course he's a Jew. What do you think? Bill Maher is learning.
What do you mean, of course?
Dude, yeah, he's a Jew. Bill Maher is learning this also the hard way a little bit. Yeah,
but they're not going to learn. They're still going to stick to their horseshit.
They have learned. Berenson, this guy got kicked off of Twitter, and now he's in Substack. Substack, the blog thing.
Not really.
Substack is like the glorified blog spot. It's like Blogspot on steroids for intellectuals. So he has.
Only I know what Blogspot was.
whatever. It's like you can subscribe to people's.
It's funny.
blogs.
I'm sure what you're saying is most people know it. I'm very
Yeah.
kind of
Bari Weiss went on Substack. Berenson, that guy.
I'm not hip. I'm not with it.
Yeah, so he's he got kicked out. The guy appears on every week on what's his name? The one you said is part of the Matrix. No, in the Fox, not Hannity, the other guy, Tucker Carlson.
Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Berenson goes on a show.
I said I wasn't sure if he was part of the Matrix.
Okay,
I said that he's one of those guys on the fountainhead, on the spout, where you don't know. Yeah. You don't know until the last minute if they were there to shut it down or to keep it going.
So Berenson goes on his thing once a week, but like Berenson has his own. Berenson is the guy that's now writing about how athletes are getting like heart attacks on the field, and like he's the only one talking about this. So they are learning. They're learning. Some of them are learning. Rubin is definitely learning. Greenwald is for sure
Learning what is the question?
They're learning that
you can't trust these guys who betrayed you.
Yeah, that they are learning that they are looking more and more like right wingers, even though they're not. But the way that they talk, they're learning that like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
To be continued. To be continued. I have to do Avdallah because my wife would like to go to sleep.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Has it been real?
But
Holyfield?
Yes, sir. We can continue, but we should definitely do Eliyahu Hanavi Part 2.
Yes.
The language is cleaner, more useful information,
for sure.
Less angst.
Yeah.
What do you think? All right.
All right, man. I'll touch you.
Take care, brother.
All right, Shavuot.
All right. Shavuot.